are back, ladies and gentlemen. How are you feeling tonight? I hope everyone is feeling good tonight. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks so much for being here. Thanks for listening to me, Dukect here, live on the Dukect Lounge. And, well, looks like the streaming wars have been, it's getting a little more pricier. And this is right here. This is a couple just yesterday. The Verge, Disney Plus, and Hulu are getting steep pricing and such. It's like they're raising the price to Disney Plus to $11, like 11, like 15 a month. And that will come up to annually. I think with premium no ads, it's like gonna be $14. I think the basic the premium is gonna be $11 with no ads, and that's going to be like $109 a year. Basic, with ads, $9.99, and annual $99. UFC pay-per-view $74, and annual not available right here $124. Wow. And by the way, here's the bundle plan. Legacy and premium is going to be $20, and that's going to be probably, let me just check, $20, $240. It's going to be very interesting to see people are they going to justify these huge prices, these huge price hikes? Are they going to go for the ads and such? Because I think that's one of the main problems of going to these. Yeah, this is one thing, but the one thing that people wanted to leave is the ads. They hated ads, they didn't like ads, and they just like, okay, let's watch something and streaming and just go for it, no ads. Now, same thing with HBO Max, same thing with Netflix, same thing with all these other companies and everything. All these things are now pricing up, and the reason why they're all these things is because they realize that streaming is not the price of gold that these corporations thought. Disney thought it was going to be at Netflix, and all, like I said last week, I talked about this last week. I talked about all of this last week, and seeing how the prices and the subscribers going down. Netflix lost subscribers, a ton of subscribers. Peacock only got 13 million pay for subscribers. Again, let me just look at this. Let's see, and then they continue to lose money. Right now, let's see. Let's see. 9 million. Let's see. Gen Z is no. Don't know. Oh, yeah. This is not looking good. By the way, let me just look here. We're going to say this is Zipper, by the way. Let's see. By the way, if y'all want to come into the show, go right ahead, say something. The chat room is always on lock here and on TalkShoe. Anyway, let me just start sharing here, and there it is. Look at this, 28 million active accounts, $78 million, only got 9 million. It's higher than Discovery and Disney Plus, but again, look like by generations, this is really bad. You see, Gen Z, Millennials, Gen X, and Baby Boomers are like 5. They're like to describe, and like to describe is like not even close to like 15%. They never reach a 15%. Unlikely to subscribe is like 48%, 64, 58, and 67. And then don't know. The most people who don't know, the people who are most plugged in to it, Gen Z. They don't know about Peacock. 42%. Majority don't know Peacock even exists. That is messed up, man. It's 20%. Yeah, they 75,000 in 4K streaming. Yada yada yada. It has 20 million active accounts, but they don't really, again, not really paid or anything else. They're not even revenue rise 0.1 billion. 3 million paid subscribers. They have 30 million to 35 active users. How many of them are going to be paid subscribers? That's what's going to be the question. And I'm looking here. Let me just stop here. Again, I want to see how many paid subscribers they have. They don't have much. Like I said, 13 million. And they got a lot of people who are, that's the real problem is, when you have only, like I said, they have, right now, let me just put this up here. Peacock has, let me just say this again, look at that Peacock. 13 million paid subscribers and 28 million active U.S. accounts. That's right there, 13 million. And the total, exactly, that's nice. Active accounts, that's nice. But they don't have, again, looking where they are, and the majority of the U.S.-based subscription stuff is looking at it, of recently reporting Netflix, Disney, Paramount, Discovery, Lionsgate. You have reaching a mother match with 4.51. They're just not looking. Yeah, HBO Max has their stuff. Peacock, Prime Video, all these other things. Just they have only should have report any metric. By the way, Apple TV. That to me is they are not as doing good as they say they are. How many people are actually subscribing to these places, and are they even being they are just so. The only people I see being successful are who are doing this. I mean, the only one I see is Prime Video, because again, you don't only get video and the stuff like TV shows stuff. You get actual some of Amazon. You get other stuff from Amazon. You get stuff that is half off or more deals to buy. All this other TVs, clothes, all this stuff right there on Amazon. You get extra stuff where you get the Prime Video. You get extra, other, there's other things you can get with Amazon. Other things. Then what can you get with Disney Plus? There's not much tangible stuff. You only remember I know that DC Universe, that bad play. I loved it, and there was a good community of people there. You could buy stuff on it, but it was not really a, I think it was a bad idea to do that stuff. I think it was too much. It was spread too often and everything else. But yeah, when you look at these major stuff and major, major things here. Just go here. I don't know what you can do to really. I mean, like I said, there's a reason why they're doing all these stuff here, ladies and gentlemen. There's a reason why they are doing these, they're adding more money to it. Because they realize, like I said, looking at the Disney Plus right here, seeing here, right here, look at it, that by December, there is going to be Disney Plus, Hulu, and all these places. They're going to raise prices. And the sad part is, some of these price stuff, hikes, will probably be a lot cheaper than cable and all this other stuff. So, but it is people are gonna be looking at their wall and say, "Hey, what the heck is cost too much money?" They're gonna go right back to the ads, and a lot of people are gonna be like, "Hey, I hate ads," and they don't want to do it. They might actually start, donning the pirate hat and everything, even though all the issues with that as well. So, I don't know what the solution is going to be, because once you see these problems and you see these situations like this, that they're raising money off, it does go back to, it goes right to, when you look what happened down from Netflix, you look at these, these big, the streaming companies, they realized It's not working out for them. It's not working out for them because they looked at the pandemic and thought that was going to be the permanent fixture. It wasn't. There are 8 million new subscribers to Disney Plus. Then Netflix announced a decrease, first time in a decade, and all these other things. They're gonna have around 250 million and 245 million subscribers instead of its previous prediction of 230 to 260 million. All these other things. So they are looking at sports betting, doing things and more interactive stuff. So I think that's what's going to be the case here. And honestly, and it's funny. Let's see. And also, let me just see. By the way, here's the real messed up. Remember when Netflix games and everything else, where they were saying, "Oh, Netflix have these games and all this other stuff." They have the gaming division. I talked about that a couple of months ago. Oh, get this out here. Nobody's playing them. No one cares about the games they have. It's been exactly. It's been 2 years since Netflix began its push into gaming, and no one even cares about the titles. You are basically 1% of their entire, customer base. I mean, 1% of their customer base. Like, oh, Netflix has video games. Really? No one. I mean, even after all these other I didn't see much marketing and such. When you have Amazon and Google, they tried to do it, Stadia, and I think Amazon had MMORPG stuff, which bombed. And then you have Google Stadia, which just didn't work at all. And now you have this, no one really knows or cares about the stuff here, about Netflix and everything. What are people caring about the video games? This area and such of Netflix, they're trying to be more interactive with their customers. Yet the majority of the customers don't want games. They don't want, all these other stuff. They want they don't, honestly, they want stuff on the screen, and no one cares about the gaming, which is a shame because these games are really, I heard they're decent, but overall, no one really is caring about the games. No one actually sits and talks about, I don't hear anyone talking about the games that Netflix has, and I wouldn't be surprised if that the games and all the things that are playing will go down the toilet because they're we're wasting resources on this pretty much a DOA project. So the Netflix gaming enterprise will be like a grand opening, grand closing. Well, in 6 months, people, I wouldn't say 6 months or less. I think it's going to be less. You will hear that Netflix has closed its gaming division. And most people are going to be like, it had a gaming division? Yeah. Personally, I know it sucks losing any division or anything, but I'd rather have the gaming division, than gets cut down or taken out than the animation division at Netflix, because there so many good ideas, so many interesting titles were forgotten about because of that. So hopefully Netflix will do so. I think Netflix will get back on track of making good content, interesting content, and making things where people actually will not only buy this service but also keep them around. Because right now, I don't see anything right now. I mean, maybe I need to watch The Gray Man. I heard some good things. But overall, I'm not really Netflix, it's okay. It's there. I mean, it's nothing. I never really sat and binge watch anything on Netflix other than the terrible Resident Evil series. And like I said, terrible. I need to do a review on that soon. But overall, it is just terrible. Like I said, it's Netflix and all of these new story. Just look at the stuff that Nothing really excites people. And right now, I mean, what's the big thing that's supposed to be coming out? It's like the Lord of the Rings stuff from Amazon, which spent majority of like a small GDP of a like basically a mid-sized country for it to do and everything. And even if it bombs, which at this point it could or couldn't do, it doesn't matter to them because they just can make it back because hey, they sell stuff too. So yeah, Amazon, they can't really have a flop that's gonna hurt them. Amazon can't be hurt. I think that's the one company that is legitimately too big to fail. I honestly, I wouldn't be surprised. They actually might just say, I would not be surprised if screw it, they just bought like Warner Brothers or whatever, or just bought like the rest of Batgirl and said, "Fuck it, we'll do it." Like we'll buy the DC universe and have all it just stream on Amazon and such, and buy all the theaters because we Jeff Bezos has just the unlimited money making. They already got MGM. So why not complete the set and get the rest of it? I think Turner and all that stuff, and just buy Warner Brothers, which I wouldn't be surprised if they actually did so. Wouldn't be surprised. But that's my thing. I think, like I said, the streaming though. The only one I think is coming ahead is Amazon because again they sell a different product, and the ones that do sell trying to sell a different product like Netflix gaming, no one knows about it and no one cares, and their own audience wouldn't even wonder if they promote it because they only want one thing from Netflix, and that is streaming service. That's what it is. And right now, the majority of them are just, majority of the IPs and everything else is on these different streaming services. BritBox, Disney Plus, Apple TV, HBO Max, Hulu, all of these stuff. So, believe me, I think these streaming wars are going to get more expensive again on, and I think that Dave Zaslav, who's probably in a lot more hot water, who knows, it's Twitter. People say, oh, he's got to be fired, all this. I'm like, it's Twitter. Twitter's not real. All right? I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe he's on his last days, or maybe he's doing just fine. People said Bob Chapek was going to get fired, but he's still goddamn here, so people need to calm down on that stuff. Calm down. But I think he might be right on this way of basically starting cutting these movies and everything because they're not, they're not going to be, they're not going to make any money for you. They're not going to be for the studio and everything. I mean, I look at something like Prey, for example, on Hulu, and I'm like, honestly, why couldn't that be in theaters? Honestly, it's a tightly focused movie you could put on the theater and Blu-ray, or DVD or whatever. And the worst thing about it is that if you don't have a good the internet here is fine, but it did stumble a bit. The internet stumbled a bit while me and my dad was watching it, so there is that type of an issue too. Because if you don't get a strong internet or you're stuck with a crappy internet, I don't care what type of good like ratings or anything else. Well, guess what? You're not going to be able to watch it. It's done. And it's like, if you don't have strong internet, sorry, we're not going to sell a DVD. So, no refunds. Hey, but hopefully, my thing is that maybe with Dave Zaslav is doing, maybe go back to theatrical or more physical stuff. They can actually have people at least somewhat of a chance to watch this stuff, or people could just pirate it and just rip it from their computers and just download it and just put it on the blank disc and watch the season that way. Wouldn't be surprised if that happened to like She-Hulk or Miss Marvel or whatever, that stuff, man. It sucks, but it is what it is at this point. And now we have these steep prices, and I think that's going to be more or less subscribers as well. So it's going to be a very interesting time in the world of streaming. Anyway, we're going to take a small little break, and then we are going to be talking about some more issues about streaming and everything. This time in the world of video games. We'll be right back right at this here live on the Dukect Lounge, live on TalkShoe and on YouTube.